Hey friends, it's Corey from Hey Let's Make Stuff, and in today's video we are talking all about Cricut's new color changing iron-on vinyl. This color changing iron-on is basically very similar to their other iron-on with one big difference. It's UV activated, which means that when you go out in the sun or you apply a UV light, it actually changes color. At the time I filmed this video, Cricut's color changing iron-on comes in 4 colors: yellow, blue, purple, and pink. All 4 of these colors start out as white, but when you go outside, you'll see them change color. For this project, we are going to make a rainbow color changing shirt. So basically it's gonna look like a white rainbow indoors. You may not be able to really see it, but when you go outside into the sun, that rainbow will automatically appear. I already made a version of this shirt for a blog post and I absolutely love it. So you can see here that it has these little white rainbows all over it. You can see them, but they're not very impressive. But when I hit it with a UV light, so this is a UV light that you would like cure resin with. When I hit it with the UV light, you can see here, automatically it changes colors. So I can hit all of these here and you'll see them start to fade as the UV light is no longer on them. But how fun is this? It reminds me of those hypercolor shirts that we used to have in the early 90s. I don't know if anybody else had one of those, but I love them, and you can really see how quickly and how vivid these colors can get. So what do you need for this project? I have linked all of the supplies for this project down in the description. And to start, we're going to need our color changing HTV. So I've got all 4 colors here because we're making a rainbow. And remember, these start out white and then change to the color that they show on the package out in the sun. You're also going to need a Cricut. I'm using my Cricut Explorer 3 here, but you can technically use any Cricut. I'm actually going to make a larger rainbow for this particular shirt. So if you have a Cricut Joy, you may want to look at my blog post for how to do the smaller rainbows that I showed you earlier in this video. You're also going to need a green Cricut mat, and some heat resistant tape is really helpful as well. You're also going to need a shirt or other garment. So I'm using this Bella Canvas Kids t-shirt. It is so soft and my boys love these shirts. The seams are not, itchy or scratchy or anything like that. So really love these shirts. I will go ahead and link these in the description. If you didn't know, Bella Canvas also offers wholesale pricing without a reseller license. I did a video on this a while back. So if you're looking at buying blanks in bulk, I would definitely check out their program. And then finally, to adhere our iron-on, I'm going to be using an Easy Press. You can use any kind of heat press. You can even use the Easy Press Mini, that will work. And then some sort of heat resistant pad, Easy Press mat. I've got a wool mat here. Any of those will work. Let's head over to Cricut Design Space to set up our file. So here we are in Cricut Design Space. Just as a heads up, Cricut is constantly changing Design Space these days. So if my Cricut Design Space doesn't look exactly like what you're working with, don't be alarmed. You should still be able to follow these instructions to upload your file. So over here on the left, click Upload, and then click Upload Image, and then navigate to where your file lives on your computer. Then you can go ahead and click Upload, and then insert it onto your canvas. I designed this free rainbow SVG specifically for this project. I colored it the same colors of the iron-on vinyl. You can download this rainbow for free by clicking the link down in the description. The first thing we need to do is resize our project. As you saw with the other shirt that I made, I used a lot of very tiny rainbows. I think they were 2.5 inches wide. But for this project, I'm just gonna make one big rainbow. The size of my shirt is a kid's medium, so I went ahead and measured, and I think 8 inches across is going to be a good size. So I changed that using the size tool. Before we go to make it, make sure that you have the machine you are using selected. Right now I have my old Explorer selected, so I'm gonna go ahead and choose my Explorer 3 from this drop-down. Then click Make It in the upper right. You'll get a pop-up asking how you want to load your materials. These are not smart materials and I'm not making a card, so I'm going to choose On Mat. And here you'll see all of your pieces laid out on 4 different mats. There's nothing else we need to do in the Prepare screen, so click Continue. For our material, instead of using an iron-on setting, we are going to browse all materials over here and choose a heavy cardstock. This is going to cut through the carrier sheet, making it possible for us to iron our rainbow all in one go. Cricut Design Space has us starting with yellow, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up. When you first get this, you will find that the vinyl comes inside a black plastic wrapper, sort of like infusible ink. I'm not sure if it's necessary to keep it inside there. I didn't, and so far I'm okay. But when you pull it out here, you'll see that it's white, right? There is no way to tell that this is going to be yellow unless you stick it in the sun or under a UV light, which means that you need to be very careful about putting your vinyl back in the correct package. If you have a problem and you just don't know what color it is, you can take it out in the sun, or you can buy a small UV light. This one, like I said, is for curing resin, super cheap, but you can see here that if I turn it on and hover it over the vinyl here, that it starts to turn yellow. And that's just a good way to be able to tell whether or not you have the right color. So cutting this is just like cutting any other iron-on with your Cricut. You want to make sure that the shiny side is face down, and you go ahead and put it on your Cricut mat here. I always put my Cricut mat sideways when I'm putting materials on there. I find it easier. Just like this, put it on here. You can see that it's a 19-inch roll, but I have used a significant amount of it so far. So this is it. All right, I'm gonna load my mat into my Cricut, click that play button, and it's going to cut my project. All right, that cut all the way through the carrier sheet just like I wanted. So when you peel this back, you'll see that now we just have our rainbow piece left here on our mat. And then before you do anything else, put the yellow back in the yellow container. The last thing you want is a bunch of white iron-on lying around your craft room and you have no idea what color it actually is. So I'm gonna peel this up here. And we have our first rainbow piece. And you can see that because it doesn't have the carrier sheet on it, there's no way to like sort of stick it down. So we will deal with that in a minute. It's just a little curly right now. Go ahead and cut all 3 other colors in the same way using that cut through technique. I've pulled all my rainbow pieces off of the mat, and you can see just by the nature of this design that they're very curled. And that's why we're gonna use heat resistant tape. I was going to use my fancy tape dispenser, but for some reason I can't get the wheel to turn. So we're moving back to the old scissors and tape method here. You know, that's what most people have. So I'll show you how to do it here. So I'm gonna cut just 2 small pieces of tape for myself to start, like this. Oops, set that aside. So I've got my tape here. I'm just gonna hold those on there. Then you want to center your rainbow on your shirt, just like this. Where you wanna put it is up to you. You can use a t-shirt ruler if you'd like. I'm just gonna eyeball it. And then you want to tape on both sides. So you don't want the tape on the inside of the rainbow to go very far because you don't want it underneath the next color of the rainbow. So on this outside one, go ahead and just cover that rainbow, but don't let the tape come in too much. And then do the same thing here, wrap it around, the same thing on the other side here. All right, so then you want to put your second rainbow here. Just line it up inside the first one, and this piece of tape can actually go on top of the outside rainbow. You just don't want it going underneath on the inside of the rainbow here. So just tape on the outside of the rainbow like this, and then I'll grab my next piece. And as I'm working here, you can maybe be able to see that there is a slight color difference on this blue. I don't know if it's picking up just some ambient UV light coming in the windows, but it is just not quite as true of a white as the others. If that bothers you, don't use the blue. I have nothing else to tell you there, but it's really not too bad. It just, you can see just a slight blue cast to the white. So I'm gonna tape this one down just like the other ones. Again, don't let the tape go in the center of the rainbow, keep it toward the outside. And then finally, I've got this center piece, and for this one, I'm just gonna cut kind of a long piece, and we'll just go over the top. Just like this, set those aside, just like that. So now I have my full rainbow and I'm ready to press. This is what I really love about the cut through technique. You don't have to press this 4 different times and press that outer one, you know, it's gonna get 4 different presses as you move down the layers. You can press all 4 layers in one go. Yes, it takes a little bit of time to do with the tape, but you know, it's a lot better than having to press that vinyl over and over again and risk it bubbling or ruining your project in some way. You could also cut it using the regular vinyl setting and then just weed and then trim around the edge, but honestly, this is just so much faster. I consulted the Cricut heat guide, which tells you the time and temperature for all of their products. This is 315 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 seconds. That's what I used on the other shirt and it worked really well, so we're gonna do that for this one as well. Grab your heat press, set it down over the top of your design, and press that go button. You don't need to use a lot of pressure with the Easy Press, just, you know, medium firm pressure with your hands is just fine. All right, this product is said to peel warm, so I'm gonna go ahead and start to peel off the carrier sheet here and the tape. So I have found that if I kind of just pull up on the end of each of these rainbow pieces, let's get your thumbnail kind of under there, pull up the ends here, get them kind of started, just like this. One more for the center one. If I can kind of pull all of these at the same time, I can sort of work my way around the entire rainbow, all at the same time. just like this. Just like that. Okay, so you can see the white rainbow, especially from above, but looking at it from an angle, I mean, you can see it, but you really can't see it. Like, you really wouldn't notice it unless you were kind of looking for it. But you can see when I put the UV light over it, it automatically really starts to turn colors. It's even more impressive in the sun, honestly. It changes so quickly and right away. It's really, really fun. That yellow too changes a lot brighter in the sun as well. And then you can see once I take the light off, it starts to fade back. I find that the blue fades the fastest. The purple and the pink take a little bit longer. I think it's probably just the way that the colors are formulated, but the blue definitely fades the fastest, then the yellow, then the purple, and then that pink takes quite a while to fade too. One more thing before I wrap up this video. You want to really think about the color of the blank you are using. So I used white because I kind of wanted to make this a surprise shirt, but if I wanted, I could put this on another color. So let's say I wanted to put this on like a navy colored shirt. The rainbow would look white inside, and then when you go outside, all of the colors would appear. If I used a pink shirt that was really similar to the pink color of the outside of the rainbow, you might not be able to see that pink very well. So you really just want to think about the color of your blank that you're using. Bella Canvas has over 300 colors of shirts, so if you shop with them, you will definitely find what you need. And that's it. That is how you use Cricut's color changing iron-on. If you found this video helpful, I would love a like. Don't forget to go to the description and download that free rainbow SVG. If you have any questions, I would love to hear those in the comments. Follow me for more weekly crafting tutorials. I'll see you next week.